Hello and welcome to Doctor's Orders here at the Chrissy B Show. I'm Dr. Rob Hicks. Today we're going to be talking about opening up when you go and consult with your doctor and the importance of being open when you're asked questions or indeed when you want to find out what the problem is that you're suffering from. Being a doctor is very much like being a detective really. What we do is we gather clues, put these together in order to try and make the diagnosis. So if you think about when you're doing a jigsaw puzzle, it's only when you've got all the pieces put together correctly that you see the full picture. And that's what it's like in medicine. You see the full picture so you can make the diagnosis and actually then give the most appropriate treatment to a patient. So that's why it's important that when you go and see your doctor, you open up, that you tell the doctor all the information that you can. And then the doctor will go through that information, they'll sift through it, and they'll decide what's the most important bits of information and actually which are less important. The other thing to think about is that often patients will say, well, I didn't think that was very important, I thought it was an insignificant fact. But we'll find that it's that insignificant bit of information that actually is the key to solving the puzzle, to making the diagnosis and therefore being able to offer the best treatment. So always give lots of information to the doctor. That's really, really very helpful. Now, one of the things that many patients feel is actually embarrassed to open up. They're embarrassed about the symptoms, they're embarrassed to actually confess what they've been doing or indeed just share the information. But really, there's no need to be embarrassed. Your doctor, he or she, is likely to have heard it all before anyway, and they certainly won't be embarrassed, so you shouldn't be either. Another thing is patients say, well, I feel a bit guilty about the way I'm feeling, or I feel ashamed about the way I'm feeling. For example, when they're feeling depressed. Well, there's no reason to feel that way because taking depression as an example, it's not your fault, you've not done anything wrong, it's a medical condition. So once again, make sure that you open up and you say all the information without feeling embarrassed. But if you are feeling a little bit awkward about talking about embarrassing things or indeed things that you don't feel quite comfortable about, why not rehearse what you're going to say beforehand or indeed write it down so you can simply read it to the doctor? Because a lot of patients find that a bit easier. Another reason why people don't open up is actually they're frightened. They're frightened about what the doctor might say or what the diagnosis might be. Now, what I would advise you in that scenario is actually the majority of health problems are relatively minor and they're easily treated. However, the longer you take to get them diagnosed, the worse they're likely to get, the harder they're likely to be for treatment. And so this is why it's important to seek advice early on and actually share the information you've got with your doctor. When it is a serious condition, then of course the sooner it's diagnosed and treated, the better. In fact, even when it's not a serious condition, it's a minor problem, the sooner it's diagnosed and treated, the better as well, because otherwise you just spend a lot of wasted time worrying and getting stressed about things. So that's my advice to you. When you go and see a doctor, be open, share all the information you can to help your doctor make the diagnosis of your problem and give you the right treatment. And that's Doctor's Orders.